If I were to ask you right now, where is the absolute best place in the universe to find alien life? What would you say? Your mind probably goes straight to a massive rocky planet, right? Maybe a world orbiting some warm star millions of light years away, or perhaps you're thinking of the dusty red surface of Mars. Well, for a very long time, that is exactly how we thought about the search for extraterrestrial life. We were constantly looking for planets in the habitable zone. But what if we've been looking in the slightly wrong direction all along? What if one of the absolute best places to find alien life isn't a planet at all, but a frozen moon? We're going to explore a mystery that has completely upended our understanding of the cosmos, and it is taking place right in our own cosmic backyard.
Welcome to This Explainer, where we're investigating how NASA found an ocean that could actually hide alien life on a little moon called Enceladus. Now, when you look at Saturn, it is a visual masterpiece. It's this massive, ringed gas giant just commanding its region of the solar system. Orbiting that behemoth is Enceladus, a relatively small, icy world that's barely the width of the state of Arizona. But seriously, do not let its diminutive size fool you. This single, tiny moon has completely changed how scientists search for life in the universe. It has shifted our gaze away from distant, unreachable stars and forced us to look really closely at the frozen, seemingly desolate moons of our very own solar system. Enceladus is no longer just a speck of light in a telescope, it is literally the center of a profound scientific revolution. But how exactly did a freezing, distant moon orbiting a billion miles from the sun become our absolute best hope for finding alien life?
Section 1. The Ultimate Space Mystery. A frozen ball of ice.
At first glance, Enceladus looks, well, incredibly ordinary. It looks exactly like what you'd expect a small moon orbiting far from the warmth of the sun to look like. It's a completely dead, frozen ball of solid ice. Because it sits nearly a billion miles from the sun, the surface temperatures plunge to an unimaginably cold -330 degrees Fahrenheit. It is a harsh, totally unforgiving environment. In fact, when early space probes like Voyager flew past in the early 1980s, astronomers basically assumed Enceladus was nothing more than a silent, inactive rock covered in a thick layer of frost. It was viewed as a cosmic fossil, just another frozen moon, not some dynamic planet. And for decades, it remained largely ignored in the grand scheme of astrobiology. But then, NASA's Cassini spacecraft, an incredibly ambitious mission sent to study Saturn and its moons in unprecedented detail, changed absolutely everything. When Cassini arrived in the Saturn system in 2004, it pointed its sophisticated instruments at Enceladus and discovered something completely extraordinary. Something that absolutely, categorically should not be happening on a dead ball of ice. So what exactly was it?
Section 2. Cassini's amazing discovery, plumes in space.
Cassini's detection was a scientific goldmine that defied all expectations. The spacecraft didn't find a dead, silent world. No, it found massive plumes of water blasting hundreds of kilometers out into the vacuum of space. Imagine looking at this desolate, frozen wasteland and suddenly seeing colossal geysers erupting with unthinkable violent force, shooting supersonic jets of ice and gas straight out into the dark cosmos. It was a visually spectacular and totally shocking discovery. The pristine white surface of the moon was actually highly active. But the Cassini mission control team didn't just want to take pictures from a safe distance. They wanted to know exactly what was inside that water. So, in a daring feat of interplanetary navigation, they actually steered the Cassini spacecraft to fly directly through these massive plumes at thousands of miles per hour, allowing its onboard sensors to physically taste the spray. The resulting data was astonishing. Cassini detected water vapor. It detected salts. It detected heavy organic molecules, and crucially, it detected molecular hydrogen. Now, these aren't just random chemicals floating around in space. These specific ingredients are the fundamental building blocks, the key components strictly associated with environments that have the potential to support life. As scientists started analyzing this wealth of data, a stunning realization set in. The southern pole of Enceladus is scarred by massive, deep fractures which are informally known as tiger stripes that are actively venting all of this material out into space. But scientists quickly realized a profound truth. These aren't ordinary ice cracks. They aren't just superficial scratches or temporary fissures on the surface of a frozen world. These vents are producing a massive, continuous, and powerful eruption of water and organic material that has probably been ongoing for billions of years. In fact, the sheer volume of material being ejected is so massive that it literally creates one of Saturn's outer rings. That astonishing reality immediately forces us to ask the million-dollar question: if all this liquid water, organic chemistry, and energy is violently blasting out from the frozen surface, what exactly are these cracks connected to deep underneath all that ice?
Section 3. The hidden underground ocean, the engine of Enceladus.
Scientists now believe that those glowing cracks are directly connected to a massive global liquid ocean hidden deep beneath an ice shell that is miles and miles thick. Just think about that for a second. An entire alien ocean completely encased in ice, churning in the dark. But out there in the freezing darkness of the outer solar system, far, far beyond the sun's warming reach, how could an entire ocean possibly stay liquid without freezing solid? Well, the answer is a fascinating physical process called tidal heating. It works in a brilliant, relentless step-by-step way. Step 1. Saturn is unbelievably massive, and its immense gravitational field constantly pulls and tugs on tiny Enceladus as it orbits in an elliptical path. Step 2. This intense, rhythmic gravitational pull causes the entire moon to physically stretch and squeeze. It's kind of like kneading a tough piece of clay in your hands. This constant, brutal flexing generates a massive amount of internal friction deep inside the moon's rocky, porous core. And finally, Step 3. All that geological friction generates an enormous amount of heat which radiates outward and melts the interior ice, keeping this massive global subsurface ocean warm and liquid. It is a spectacular, invisible engine of physics churning away in the pitch-black depths. But if we have a warm, liquid ocean filled with complex organic molecules swirling around a heated, rocky core, what does that mean for the possibility of biology?
Section 4. Could alien life exist? The recipe for life.
We know there's warm water, and we know there are organic materials, but remember, this ocean is trapped beneath miles of solid, impenetrable ice. There is absolutely zero sunlight down there. For a very long time in the history of science, we firmly believed that all life strictly required the sun's energy to survive. But if we look at our own planet, Earth's deep-sea hydrothermal vents tell a completely different, almost miraculous story. Down at the very bottom of Earth's oceans, plunging into the crushing, pitch-black depths far beyond the reach of a single photon of sunlight, there are volcanic vents pouring out superheated, mineral-rich water. When scientists first discovered these in the 1970s, they were totally shocked to find that in that toxic, pitch-black environment, life doesn't just survive, it absolutely thrives. Entire alien-looking ecosystems of giant tube worms and blind crabs exist down there, feeding off the chemical energy bubbling up from the Earth's crust rather than solar energy from above. This incredible process is called chemosynthesis, and the specific chemistry Cassini detected, especially that molecular hydrogen, strongly suggests that the exact same type of hydrothermal vent activity is happening at the bottom of Enceladus's hidden ocean right now.
Because these dark, high-pressure environments are so remarkably similar, scientists are brought to a thrilling, paradigm-shifting conclusion. If extremophile life thrives in the dark, sunless, crushing oceans of Earth, simple microbial life might just survive here too, deep within Enceladus. Now, to be clear, we are not talking about complex creatures, space whales, or advanced civilizations building underwater cities. We are looking for simple, hardy alien microbes, single-celled organisms that feed off the chemical energy of the moon's internal heat. Now, scientists don't know for sure yet if life is actually there. We haven't caught an alien microbe on camera. But because of this absolutely perfect recipe of liquid water, a constant heat source, and the right organic chemistry, Enceladus has officially become one of the most promising places in the entire universe to search for alien life. But of course, this presents a monumental engineering challenge. How on earth do we actually search an ocean that is trapped beneath miles of rock-hard ice?
Section 5. The future of Enceladus. What comes next?
Here is the most incredible part about Enceladus. We might not actually have to drill through that thick, formidable ice shell at all, because Enceladus is actively and generously spraying its ocean contents out into space through those massive plumes. Future space missions could simply fly by, or even orbit the moon and collect fresh samples straight from the erupting water vapor. Think about that. We can test the hidden alien ocean for the definitive biological signatures of life without ever needing to touch the surface or deploy complex drilling submarines. Just one successful sample, one definitive discovery of microbial life in those plumes, would completely change our entire understanding of biology, philosophy, and our place in the universe. It would prove that life is not a miraculous anomaly unique to Earth, but a cosmic inevitability, a second genesis happening right next door. It would mean we live in a very crowded universe. And this brings us to a profound thought. Extraordinary discoveries are often hidden beneath ordinary appearances. Enceladus looked like a dead, boring, desolate ball of ice. But beneath that ordinary appearance hides a warm, active, churning ocean that could definitively answer the greatest question humanity has ever asked. Are we alone?
So after everything we've explored today, I want to turn the question over to you. Do you think we'll discover life on Enceladus? Tell us your answer in the comments, and subscribe to Curious Orbit for more space mysteries and science documentaries.